Welcome to BKOP Remote Sunday School. We hope you had a great week in spite of all that is happening around us. Boys and girls, today we want to talk to you about the fear of change. Say that with me, the fear of change. Boys and girls, what do you think would happen if someone did the same thing the same way over and over again? Will they get different results? Think about this and we'll be right back. For today's lesson, we will turn our Bibles to the Old Testament, to Exodus, which is the second book in the Bible. Boys and girls, the fear of change can mean that you are afraid to do something new or different. Let me give you an example. Have any of you went swimming at the beach or a community pool or at a swimming lessons and you wanted to go out to the deep end because everyone who is cool is over there having lots of fun? You wanted to join them, but you were scared. As soon as the water started to reach your chin, you panic. Your toes are no longer able to touch the ground properly, so you scamper back to shallow side. Boys and girls, this is called fear. Fear prevents us from changing or even learning new things. Fear stops us from doing our best work, and fear can even stop us from doing great things for God. In our lesson today, Moses had a big problem. God called him to do something great, but Moses was afraid. God called him to deliver his own people from slavery, but Moses was afraid to go. You see, when Moses was very young, he became a prince in Egypt, although he wasn't even an Egyptian. But when he got older, Moses did something very bad, and he had to run away. Do you remember what he did, boys and girls? So when God called Moses to go back to Egypt, he was terrified and started making excuses. How many times have you said, "I can't"? Well, "I can't" is a boy who never tried. Boys and girls, is there anything that you are afraid of, like the dark or swimming? How about taking a test? Well, God had a few tests to help Moses become strong. And that's what tests do for you, boys and girls. Tests help you to become strong. Strong at math, strong at reading, at science, and certainly strong in the Lord. The first test for Moses is found in Exodus chapter 4, verses 2 through 4. Let's see who can find Exodus chapter 4. Remember, Exodus is the second book in the Bible. So the Lord said to him, "What is in your hand?" He said, "A rod." And the Lord said, "Cast it to the ground." So he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from it. Boys and girls, Moses fled from it because he was afraid. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." And he reached out his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. Boys and girls, although Moses was afraid, he was still very obedient. Moses took a step in the right direction and changed history. Even after this, boys and girls, Moses was not convinced. God took him through a few more tests before fear gave way to change. Very few people like change, but change is necessary. Change means doing things differently. When we are willing to change, boys and girls, we learn new things. We learn more about God and we learn more about ourselves. Boys and girls, is there something that you would like to change about yourself? Maybe the way you do things or how you speak to people. Today, I want to leave with you a list of Bible characters who did not let fear stop them, but change history. People like Queen Esther, who stood up for her people. And the disciples. They left their home and family to follow Jesus, and they changed the world. And then there's Paul, who took God's message all over the world. Most of all, Jesus, who gave up his life and changed our lives. So, boys and girls, please don't let fear stop you from becoming all that God has called you to be. So be safe and be blessed. Now coming up is our quiz for this week.
Welcome to the BKOP Sunday School quiz. Today we have 5 questions for you. The first question is, what was the name of the city where believers were first called Christians? Ephesus, Rome, Antioch, or Corinth? If you said Antioch, you are correct. The next question is, one of the fruits of the Spirit is meekness, humility, hope, or goodness. If you said goodness, you are correct. The next question is, for God so loved the world is found in which book of the Bible? Matthew, Luke, John, or Mark? If you said John, you are correct. The next question is, what is the name of the disciple that Jesus called first to follow him? John, Peter, James, or Andrew? If you said Peter, you are correct. The bonus question for today is, what is the name of the first Christian martyr? If you said Stephen, you are correct.